Just got this in today. I feel like I've been waiting for this forever. My teenage self is absolutely going crazy with excitement. I am a massive Robotech fan. The anime, the novels. I had the minis game at one point. I know there's an RPG. Huge Robotech, like formative for me growing up as a teenager. It got me really into like mecha Japanese like animation. In fact, Robotech actually was the thing that made me consider trying to go into the Air Force to be a pilot. That dream was shattered after my eyes got really bad in seventh grade. But for a while, I was like, I want to be a pilot. I loved everything about Robotech growing up. It was like the sci-fi beacon Bible to my teenage mind, inspired me in creative writing and so many other things. So when I heard that they were doing a game inspired by Coin, a 4-player asymmetric game in the Robotech universe, I mean, that list right there was enough to get me to perk up immediately. You may remember that I did an interview with the designers. It's listed on the box as Dr. Wicks, but it's actually two guys who've designed this game. I did an interview with them at last year's Armchair Dragoons digital convention. I'll leave a link for that up here so you can check that out if you want to learn more about this from the designers themselves. It was a really good conversation. We talked for a couple hours. But the game's finally here. I'm so excited. I was actually really shocked to see how small the footprint of this box is. You can see that it's actually a pretty tiny footprint. I didn't really get that from the pictures. Here is a comparison to an MMP BCS box. And so you can see how small that is. Really compact package, but it looks like there's a decent amount of gaming here. And so I just figured I would show you what comes in Robotech Reconstruction. It's a game for 3 to 4 players. 120 minutes is what they say, so it's not going to be super long, and ages 14 and up. I really like the art on the front here. If you know anything about Robotech, you would know that this is the SDF-1, Super Dimensional Fortress 1, an alien spaceship that crashes on Earth in the year 1999. Humans retrofit it to use it to explore the stars, and then suddenly, on the day it's supposed to launch, the aliens who built it arrive at Earth coming looking for it, and, all hell breaks loose. This is a really evocative shot. This game, as you can tell by the title, Reconstruction, actually takes place further into the story. So I won't spoil too much if you want to check out Robotech, but essentially the SDF-1 goes on this really long chase, basically, think Battlestar Galactica kind of style, with the aliens pursuing it after it lifts off. It finally makes its way back to Earth. There's a massive... it's called a cataclysm of some kind, and then there's a period of Earth trying to recover from what's happened, and so that's where we get the Reconstruction era. So there may be some spoilers in here, but here's the rulebook. Again, very compact. It's the size of the box. This doesn't appear to be too complex a game, although, if you like Coin, if you like 4-player asymmetries, you're going to find some similar things here mechanically. It's not totally one-to-one, but it's certainly inspired by. And the rules, I like the design in here. I like some of the images from that they've used. There's 4 factions. We'll get to that in a second. Here's some examples of play. So it looks like rules-wise, there's about 15 pages of rules, so not too bad. Nice index here, and a quick reference sheet about victory conditions, the sequence of play, and all of that good stuff. Can't wait to dive into this. I want to play this with my friends. So here's the board. Let's take a look at that. And so really representative of the anime, definitely got that color palette, that vibe. There's a bunch of different locations on the map, and they're all kind of different shapes. Northwest Quadrant, Numacross City, which is where the SDF-1 is, as you can see. Excalibur, they're sort of like the Earth Defense. Monument City, New Portland, Granite City here, New Detroit. So, and I really like sort of like the visual style of this map. It's pretty cool. Kind of abstract, but it's pretty nice. And these different spaces are going to represent sort of the effects on these spaces. So like in Coin, when you have control and support opposition, you're going to have something similar to this in each of these locations. You've also got protoculture, fabrication, and industrial zones, which I imagine are probably going to be similar to lines of communication from something like Cuba Libre. We got 2 sheets of counters. These are mostly hexagonal in nature. Here you can see some Zentradi. That's the alien race that built the SDF-1. We've got some Crash Zentradi ships, some materials, looks like maybe control markers. These are the 4 factions, and we got some standees for each of the factions, I guess leaders, you would call them. We've got Chiron, we've got Rick Hunter, Lin Minmay, and what looks to be a Zentradi cruiser. So that's pretty nice. And then we've got what look to be the markers / control, potentially, of each of the factions. These are Zentradi battle pods. We've got some Gladiator Destroids here. Not sure what overt is. Are these double-sided? Covert. Yeah, it looks like, so the Zentradi are going to be a guerrilla faction, which is actually a really interesting, you know, choosing to set the game in this period is cool because there's a lot of like irregular warfare happening in the story. And the Zentradi, you've got different Zentradi allied to different factions in sort of on Earth, and one of those factions is sort of a insurgent like a political view, which is cool. Here is this is the protoculture display. It looks like double-sided. I guess you're going to keep track of something there, maybe points. Here are the victory conditions, I believe. Yeah, so here's how each of the factions will win on this track. This is also double-sided, same on both sides. These are just card, so you probably put these near the board. Small footprint, so it's not too bad. Here we've got a setup card, so how you start the game, each of the locations, what units are going to be there. That's pretty cool. And then we've got the resolution bar. So this looks like it's going to be similar to like a propaganda round type of thing from Coin. And you're going to go through all these phases in order. Reconstruction timeline. These must be the different, I would guess maybe these are the different quote-unquote propaganda cards here. Reconstruction Blues, which is, I believe, the name of an episode. Viva Mariah. Yeah, so very excited to play this. I love the Robotech universe. I think it's really cool that they decided to go this route. These look like player aids for each of the factions, although there's 5 of them, so we'll see what that means. So we've got the Robotech Expeditionary Force. So this is going to be the sort of faction that's ready to get back into space and go find the home of the Robotech Masters. You've got some, yeah, it looks like there's some story on the back. This is Britai, one of the Zentradi commanders. Got the Zentradi Rebellion faction. So this is Chiron. Yeah, so here's Chiron the Backstabber. He was the infamous Zentradi commander. This is going to be sort of your insurgent guerrilla faction. Those markers we saw earlier. There's Chiron. We have got another Robotech Expeditionary Force. Okay, so it looks like what I'm getting here is that this is the bot. So if you're playing with 3 players, it looks like potentially the RAF is going to be the non-player faction, is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, so it's the bot. So it tells you how to set up and I guess like what they do. It's pretty nice. We've got the Robotech Defense Force. Rick Hunter, he's obviously the main character of the show. And, you know, this is the military basically aboard the SDF-1. That's pretty cool. And then we've got the Anti-Unification League. So this is going to be the humans who are not happy with the Zentradi, I guess. So sort of a malcontent. It's interesting that Minmay is their leader. Okay, so that's that. All right, then we've got some standees, and we've got a deck of cards. So let's take a look at the deck of cards. Okay, so this deck of cards, these cards are sort of a smooth finish, you know, pretty nicely thick. This appears to be maybe bot control cards, interesting, like maybe a bot deck. It says on the back REF drop, so I'm assuming that this will control where the bot puts units in. You can see all of the Zentradi battle pods and the Zentradi cruiser. Then we've got these different sector cards, territories, so reclamation, forest preserve. I wonder if these are a randomizer for where the bot drops things. So like, for example, you would pair this, I'm just guessing here, but you would pair this with this maybe, who knows. But these are all on the map, reflected on the map. So here's New Macross City, that's up there. Interesting, curious what these are going to be used for. Excalibur Command Center, New Portland. So that's territory. Then we have got a deck here. These are Reconstruction events, and I believe that's the rest of the deck. Yeah, so this is going to be your coin-style events. So it looks like we have the turn order on the right side. It looks like we've got the text of the card, and then down here, this gray box, maybe this is an alternate action you can take if you don't do the event, maybe. Interesting. You can see we've got shots from the show, which is pretty cool. RDF on patrol. I so badly as a kid wanted to be a pilot and fly a Veritech fighter. Yeah, Zentradi relocation, idol worship. There's a doll of Minmay. That's cool. Veritech production, propaganda drive, to the stars. That's the name of an episode. The Masters, Robotech Masters. So it's cool that they've taken images from the show, and put them on the cards. It's pretty nice. I like the graphic design here. I'm very curious to see what all of this means and dig into the rules. There's Mariah, Zentradi. You know, the show was marked by space battles and dogfighting. It was such a, revolutionary for the time. It really helped bring anime into the mainstream in the U.S. In the 80s. So, yeah, it's interesting. It looks like you'll play probably a certain number of these events. And then you'll go, you'll have a propaganda round, as it were, unless they're in here somewhere. But I like the cards. They're pretty cool. Minmay kidnapped. Oh no. Chiron's Revenge. Spoilers. Final Assault. So yeah, so this is the deck. It's not very thick, so that I guess would mean that that's why the game is only a 2-hour game. But yeah, very excited to play this. For something, maybe as something to introduce someone to like the concepts of a coin game, 4-player asymmetric. Maybe someone who really loved Robotech growing up. This is gonna be a fun one, I think. They've been developing this for a long time. I'm finally happy to have it in my hands. And, as a fanboy, really excited to have it in my collection. Thanks for checking it out. Let me know if you pre-ordered this and picked this up. I can't wait to play it, and I will definitely give a session report on this at some point on the channel or on my social media when I get it to the table. All right, have a good one.